This might be a weird question, but do your New Year's resolutions involve five-a-side football, intergalactic criminality, and small children in extremely frightening situations? Oh, good news then, because we've got all that and more coming to Xbox Game Pass in January. I'm going to start off with some Game Pass titles that have expanded to the premium tier this month. Set in an alternate version of 60s North England and in the wake of a nuclear disaster, if you've been pining for a bit more of a sci-fi post-apocalyptic disaster RPG, well, Atomfall is a bit like that, but just a bit more tea and crumpets. Rematch has just kicked off its second season and it's added a load more sweet cosmetics and is even tightening its gameplay up even further. Definitely the football game of choice for players who insist on a 7 bicycle kicks per game minimum. We've streamed that one a few times on Twitch and honestly it is great with a full team. Lost in Random The Eternal Die combines tactical combat with real-time action, which is a bit like Expedition 33 except more sentient die? Warhammer 40k Space Marines Mastercrafted Edition remasters the classic third-person hack and slasher just to provide a bit more of a refined, orc brutalizing experience. And while we're bringing back some classics, the original Final Fantasy has been remodeled so that a whole new generation of players can go back to the very start of this iconic JRPG franchise. What was the first Final Fantasy game you guys played? Let me know in the comments. Right, let's move on now to the new arrivals. 2025 unleashed a whole new Little Nightmares game on us, and Game Pass Premium, PC, and Ultimate members can now revisit the OG Nightmare in beautifully enhanced form. In this chilling puzzle platformer, you're going to be playing as a kid named Six, who's not just afraid of 7, but also basically everything else around them, because the whole place is one big deadly nightmare. And also because 7, 8, 9. And also because the game's called Little Nightmares. Creeping through the moor is a chilling experience, and the Enhanced Edition's new visual effects only serve to make it even creepier. And it's also handheld optimized as well, so now you can get your goosebumps on the go. Or the loo. Which is probably a good place for it. The perfect game to liven up dry January, Brews and Bastards is a twin-stick shooter filled with characters who are all a little bit tired and emotional. Still, they've got dungeons to crawl through, so you just need to power them up with whatever magical concoctions you can get your hands on. You're going to need all the courage you can muster, Dutch or otherwise, to take down some of this game's bosses, especially since you're going to be fighting them in arenas that are filled with possessed pool tables and deadly darts boards, because, of course, why not? And if that sounds like a mouth-watering prospect to you, Brews and Bastards is now available to Xbox Game Pass Premium, PC, and Ultimate members. I love it when we get to talk about a game that lets me swear. What other swear words could I get away with? On January 13th, Star Wars fans can play as a charming scoundrel who isn't a stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder, thanks to Star Wars Outlaws. The first ever fully open world game to let players loose on the galaxy far, far away, Outlaws is a third-person adventure set in the criminal underworld. Playing as a woman named Kay and her adorable alien sidekick Nyx, you'll get to travel the stars, working with and against different crime syndicates, while trying not to attract too much Imperial attention. Featuring everything from speeder bike chases to spaceship battles, blaster fights, and some friendly games of Sabacc, Star Wars Outlaws is a must-play for anyone who is even slightly Force-sensitive. If you want to learn a bit more about Star Wars Outlaws, we did interview the developers and the cast, so click the video up there. Now, with Resident Evil Requiem set to arrive on February 27th, now is the perfect time to check out the most recent game in the series. Well, actually, January 20th is the perfect time to check it out, because that is when Resident Evil Village comes to Game Pass PC and Ultimate. Continuing on from the story from Resident Evil Biohazard, the 8th game sees a bit more of a hardened, combat-ready Ethan Winters scrapping his way through a mysterious European village on a quest to rescue his daughter. Sadly, the mutant lords who govern the place aren't so keen on letting that happen. Surprise, surprise. With a gang of unforgettable villains and a nice mix of horror and action, Village is a brilliant entry in the OG survival horror franchise. But what's your favourite Resident Evil game? Hit the comments, let me know. For me, it's got to be Resident Evil 2 Remake, because I think that was really the first one I ever finished. January 20th also sees the arrival of a brand new Day 1 release on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, Mio Memories in Orbit. This mesmerising Metroidvania has players taking control of quite a nimble robot as they try to figure out what happened to the mysterious vessel that they seem to be riding in and why its AI caretakers are acting so hostile. Scavenge the parts that you find to unlock new abilities, and then use them to go all rock'em sock'em robots on your enemies, but in like a profound, painterly sort of way. Yeah. 2D games like this are also ideal for smaller screen gaming, especially when they've been handheld optimized like Mio Memories in Orbit. So there you go, pretty good start to the year, right? And there is plenty more on the way in 2026, as well as Developer Direct, which is going to cover games like Forza Horizon 6 and Fable, which of course are both coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate this year. So make sure you subscribe if you want to hear all about that. Bye!